Welcome to the Foundations of Learning podcast. I hope to inspire you to actively participate in your child's learning journey, fostering a love for knowledge and nurturing the skills necessary for success in a rapidly changing world.
Welcome back to the Foundations of Learning podcast. I'm your host, Shaylee Flint. Today we are going to talk about letter reversals because, let's be honest, most students are going to go through a time where they are going to reverse letters. Just because your child is reversing letters does not mean that they have dyslexia. Dyslexia is a phonological processing disorder. And yes, kids with dyslexia oftentimes will reverse their letters. However, that is not the only thing that dictates whether or not your child has dyslexia. So if you want me to do a podcast more on what the actual, warning signs are for dyslexia, let me know and I can do a podcast on that. But however, letter reversals are not going to be the only indicator for dyslexia. So if your child is reversing letters, it's going to be super important to make sure that you are fixing this early on because it can become a habit. And so let's talk about why are children even reversing letters and why is this something that's actually common? So you have something in your brain called mirror generalization. And what that means is that when you see an object in any position, it will continue to be that object. So when students are learning to read, these symbols that they are seeing to them are the same because, it would be really weird if your brain, if you looked at a dog and your brain was like, it's not a dog anymore because the dog, is facing me, or the dog is turned to the left. It's not a dog anymore, right? It's still a dog. And so we have to make sure that we understand that ourselves as well, that this is just a normal thing that our brains are going to do, and that there are certain things you can do to help students if they are reversing their letters. So the first thing that I'm going to talk about are the gross motor skills. So what I mean by that is we are using our bodies to make those letters. So the most common letters they're going to reverse are going to be B, D, P, Q, lowercase n, lowercase u, those letters, right? Those are the ones that are most frequently going to be reversed by students. So when we're doing gross motor skills, what I mean is you are using your arms, you are using your finger, you're using your leg, maybe you use your whole body, right, to create that letter. Now, I do have different sayings that I do, for example, for B's and D's. So with B's, I always say that we start with the bat and then we draw the ball, and then D starts like C and then we draw the door. So making sure that you have either little sayings to help them remember, but using their body is going to help them to remember how you're going to do it. So when I'm having them use their body to do a B or a D or a P or a Q or whatever, we are using those sayings and I'm keeping them consistent the entire time. If you're constantly changing how you're telling your child to write the letter or little tips and tricks to help them remember, it's not going to help them remember, right? So the next one is verbal cues, which is what I was just talking about, right? So if we have some sort of verbal cue that helps them to remember, remember, we start at the top with the B and draw the bat first. So if they can remember, I'm going to draw the bat and then comes the ball, right? Because we always go from left to right when we're reading or writing left to right. As far as the D goes, right, my verbal cue might be, it starts like a C, right? So they have to remember that they have to draw the C first, go up to the line and come back down, right? So there's different verbal cues that you can use to help them remember how they're going to write each of these letters. And you can come up with a bunch of different ways you can do that. However, I do have different sayings. I actually have a handwriting page that has all of my sayings for all of the letters so that you can stay consistent in how you are explaining to your child how to write each letter. So if you're interested in that, I will leave a link down below. So the next one we're going to talk about is a hands-on approach. So when I'm saying hands-on approach, you can use your hands for at least for B's and D's, right? So my left hand is going to make a B and my right hand is going to make a D. So if I give myself a thumbs up on each hand, yes, I remember that my left hand is always going to be my B. There's my bat and my ball, and my right hand is always going to be the D. there is my C, and then there is my door, right? So you can use your hands to do this. Even if you did a thumbs down, same thing. It's a P on your left hand and a Q on your right hand. So kind of same concept there. Multisensory activities are going to be the next thing we're going to talk about. When we use a multisensory approach, it's going to make it really stick in their mind. And you can do this with any of the letters, by the way. You don't have to only do this with B's, D's, P's, and Q's, and so on. But multisensory activities are going to be helpful to make that connection in their brain. So an example that you might use is like sandpaper, right? So if I get like a really soft sandpaper, maybe you have the letter in front of them and they're saying the saying as they're writing the letter with their finger, right? You can do this with Play-Doh. So you could have them build something with Play-Doh. You could also have like a sensory bin, right? And you could have them draw it in the sand or in dirt or in flour. You could also put paint or even like Elmer's glue in a Ziploc bag and have them do it with their finger that way. There are a lot of ways that you can have them practice these letters that they might be reversing in all of these different multisensory ways that's going to help make that connection in their brain. And the very last one I'm going to talk about, which I think is the very most crucial for any of the spelling patterns or letters that you're going to teach, which is mouth formation. When we make the sounds with our mouth, it actually is going to help us if we talk about what our mouth is doing, what our voice box is doing. It's going to help them to recognize what letter, at least in their spelling, what letter it is that they are making, right? Because when you make the B sound, you actually have a line that comes across your mouth first. So, oh no, look, that's my line. B, that's my bat, right? That's a B. Or if I say D, my mouth is actually slightly open. Again, there's my C, right? There is my opening. That's what I'm going to draw first. So really talking about what's my mouth doing? So what are my lips doing? What's my teeth doing? What's my tongue doing? What's my voice box doing, right? This is going to help them to make that connection for each letter if you're talking explicitly about the formation in their mouth. These approaches are things that I have found success in because I will be honest, there are a lot of first graders that are going to reverse the letters because they are new to recognizing these symbols. But like I said, just because a child is reversing letters does not mean that they are dyslexic. However, that is a piece to dyslexia. So if your child's reversing letters and that is the only thing they're doing is they just, when they write, sometimes they're reversing their letters, it can be a simple fix that you do want to fix early on so that it doesn't become a habit. And I would try those tips and tricks that I just provided and let me know which ones did you try and which ones worked with your child. But as always, I hope that this podcast gave you a little bit more information to help you become the literacy expert that your child needs. And as always, I hope you have continued success in your learning and your child's learning, and we will see you next time.